Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of Sports Étouffée. I'm your host, Logan Graffia, and we have a lot to talk about today. LSU Tigers are now 2-0 in SEC play. They just recently beat Arkansas for the Golden Boot Trophy in Tiger Stadium. And the Saints lose their first game of the season to the Packers 18-17. And we have to talk about the Derek Carr injury news and what I am hearing about it. All that and in between right here on Sports Étouffée. Without further ado, let's hear the theme music. All right, so let's start off with the happy news, the LSU Tigers. Now, LSU and Arkansas faced off. It wasn't a pretty game to start off, but then LSU got it going. If you look at how it started versus how it ended, you should be optimistic about the offense. And if Jayden Daniels started off very poorly, I mean, he had an interception. He's not a turnover-prone quarterback at all, but he got baited by the Arkansas defense. The White McLaughlin, hopefully I'm not butchering that. Former LSU Tiger playing defensive back baited Jayden Daniels badly to the point where he picked him off. And, you know, I'm not mad about it because he had Mason Taylor open. It's just he got baited and he got picked off. So, but the LSU, he started out, I think, 7 of 16 or something to that effect. I don't remember exactly what the numbers were. 7 of 16, like 80-something yards and an interception. Then it seemed like the offense clicked after that. Jayden finished 20 of 29, 320, 4 TDs, 1 INT. But the one thing that was very, very noticeable was the run game that absolutely helped the Tigers get back on track. Logan Diggs, Josh Williams, even mixing in Caleb Jackson in there, and a little bit of John Emery. I didn't really care for the reps that John Emery had, but that's not so much on him as it is of the offensive line up front. But the one thing that kind of got the Tigers going was Josh Williams had 1 carry, but Brian Kelly said he was always going to feed the hot hand, and that was Logan Diggs. Josh Williams had 1 carry, 41 yards, kind of to get the Tigers rolling again on offense. Logan Diggs has been the bell cow for the past few weeks, and rightfully so. He has been outstanding. He averaged around 7 yards a carry against the Arkansas defense. The Arkansas defense has some dogs on it, or hogs, or whatever you want to call it. Now, the offense seems to be clicking finally. I mean, if you look at the stats, Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors had 130 yards apiece and 2 touchdowns apiece. That is insane. Malik Neighbors was absolutely toasting his defender as well as Brian Thomas was. Jayden Daniels, once he got it going, was taking shots down the field like everyone's been asking him to since last year. He's doing that now. He's taking a risk, and it's working in his favor. He's actually throwing the deep ball, and he's been very consistent as of recent. Since the Florida State game, Jayden Daniels has been consistent. If you look at it, his carries are down in terms of rushing. In terms of rushing, his carries are down. He only had 10 carries at 36 yards. Mainly, the run game has been helping for LSU. Now, the defense. We got to talk about the defense, and the one thing we got to talk about is the secondary. Now, there's bright spots, and there's not so bright spots in the secondary for the LSU Tigers. And the one bright spot in the secondary I can say is Andre Sam. Andre Sam is a transfer guy from Marshall, but he also played a little bit for McNeese, if I'm not mistaken. And Andre Sam is a safety, and I want to just say prayers up to Greg Brooks as he is going to be hopefully recovering from his brain tumor surgery very, very soon. Hope to see him back healthy. I'm not even caring about the football thing. I just want to see Greg Brooks back up, walking around, and just even on the sidelines at the game. So prayers up to Greg Brooks right there. But back to what I was saying, Andre Sam was outstanding. The two safeties, actually, Andre Sam and Major Burns, have been huge lately. With Omar Speights out, Greg Penn and Whit Weeks has been having to fill in at the inside linebacker spots. Whit Weeks is actually doing a fantastic job filling his gaps. He's doing his job. He's been filling his role very well as Greg Penn has. Harold Perkins is interesting because I don't like him too much in coverage. I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to use him in the Michael Parsons role or what role they're trying to do. I don't know. But also, the defensive line has been quite stout lately. I mean, Deshaun Womack, Jordan Jefferson, Mekhi Wingo, even Mason Smith, a tad bit. He'll get it going. And Zy Alexander is probably our best tackling cornerback. He had a blown coverage. Eyes was locked on the quarterback when KJ Jefferson was scrambling outside the pocket. Eyes got caught in the backfield and threw a touchdown. The defense will improve once they find their rhythm. LSU won this game 34-31, but they looked out of sorts in the beginning, but it looks like adjustments were made and they got it going. So LSU, I think, will be fine going forward, but my mentality will always be the same for LSU and the rest of the teams that I like. 1-0 mentality. They was 1-0 this weekend. Now they're back to 0-0, 0-0. They take on an Ole Miss team this weekend, 5 o'clock in Ole Miss in Oxford, ranked 20th. Tigers are ranked 13th. And they play an Ole Miss team that just absolutely got battered by Bama. They were winning at some point against Bama, then they blew the lead. They let Jalen Milroe run all over them. And the one thing I've noticed, Ole Miss has trouble with mobile quarterbacks. LSU won the matchup last year 42-20. Last year, Ole Miss had a lead over LSU about 20-3. And then LSU won. No, there was 17-3. Then LSU came back and won 42-20. It was outstanding. I think it's going to be a great matchup this week. I'm hoping the DBs in the secondary tighten up. I think the offense is rolling finally. I think they got a good balance of pass and run. You're getting Logan Diggs. Get him his carries. He's averaging 15 carries right now. Jayden Daniels is looking like the player that we all think he is. He's at 12 touchdowns right now, and his career high is 17. He is going to break that this year. He's on pace to throw for right around 4,000 yards this year. As Preston Guy, a great LSU insider, said on Twitter. Y'all go follow him. So, with that being said, I think this is going to be a great matchup this weekend. So, moving along, let's talk about the New Orleans Saints, the sad occasion. The New Orleans Saints fell to the Packers 18-17. And the Saints had a 17-0 lead. But the second half, the Saints were moving the ball. And then tragedy struck when Derek Carr was sitting in the pocket, got sacked by Rashawn Gary, and it looked like Ryan Ramczyk couldn't block Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary was given the offensive line fits. Now, Jameis Winston will undoubtedly be playing as the starting quarterback this upcoming game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am not too confident in this offense with him in his tutelage. I don't know how long Carr is going to be out, but from what I'm hearing, it could be he could just miss this game and be ready for the New England game, or he could just miss both the Bucks game and the New England game and be ready for the following game after that. The injury, it seems like it's not as bad as we first intended. So Carr should be back fairly soon. He's not going to want to take time off. So you look at the offense was finally finding its rhythm against the Green Bay Packers. On the drive that Carr was getting hurt, it looked like we was driving and Rashawn Gary, boom, landed on his shoulder, slung him to the ground. And the one thing I can say is it's not bad. It's not season-ending injury. And you get Carr back fairly quickly. That is what I'm hearing. Is he's going to be back either next week or the following. It's not too bad. Now, Alvin Kamara's coming back. The one thing Mike Triplett even pointed out of New Orleans football, and if y'all not following them, then go get from underneath your rock and go follow New Orleans football too. Shout out to them. They do great work over there. Mike Triplett on New Orleans football pointed out that even with Alvin Kamara back, Jameis Winston has never been great at getting Alvin Kamara the ball, receiving wise. Not in the checkdowns, not on screens. So this upcoming game against the Bucks will be either really great or really bad for this offense. The defense looked like they got blown out. They ran out of gas against the Packers. And that's because once Carr went out, it was 5 straight drives of either 3 and out or just punt after punt after punt. Now, 2-minute offense in the fourth quarter. Saints were down 18-17, which they lost. They drive the ball. They get to at least a 50-yard field goal, I want to believe. Could be a little bit longer. Or it could be a little bit shorter. Don't quote me on that. And Blake Grupe is up to kick, the rookie kicker who has not missed a kick all year up to this point. Looks like it's going in, and then it just sails. It is what it is. When it goes bad, it goes bad. So I think we're going to struggle. We might struggle against the Bucks because in the last matchup, the Bucks said they know how Jameis Winston plays and they know how to bait him because there's a lot of defenders on that defense that have played with Winston in the past, such as Devin White, Levante David, and many, many others. Todd Bowles knows how he plays. He was on that staff with Bruce Arians that 2019 season. So, I don't know how this team's going to look without Carr. I don't know. It looked like everyone it took the wind beneath our wings in that game, and it just looked like everyone gave up. Carr went down, and it's like, oh man, what are we going to do now? So, I hope that we just go straight to the run game because it looks like Pete Carmichael and Dennis Allen do not believe in Jameis Winston. They never have. It's very evident. So I'm thinking you're going to see a strong run game. Now, the only thing I worry about is Taysom Hill, the usage of him, because outside of Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, you have no quarterbacks behind them at all. Jay Kaner is serving a 6-game suspension. He will be back in a couple weeks. So this Bucks game either will be very great or very, very bad. We shall see. But I expect Carr to be back for that New England game or the following game. So he will not be out very, very long. And if we drop this Bucks game, the sky is not falling. But if we drop the following game against New England, then you're looking at, okay, now we got to play catch up. So that is all I have for you today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Sports Étouffée on YouTube. And be sure to give me a follow on all social medias. I'm on Twitter /X at the Soulman57, Soul spelled SOUL. And I'm also on Instagram at the same username at the Soulman57, Soul spelled SOUL. You can also find me on Facebook. Just search my name, Logan Graffia, Graffia. So, with that being said, you guys, this has been another great edition of Sports Étouffée. We shall see you next time.